This video will show you how to change and adjust the properties of a lesson. So here I'm in the lesson editor and I'm on part 2, properties. And there's a few things to mention here. First is the short name. You can put a short name here, and if the actual name of the lesson is too long, this will be used in its place. As well, you can put a description, which will appear then on the class homepage underneath the name of the lesson. Some of the properties to mention here, complete when. When do you yourself think that this particular lesson should be completed in the student's perspective? When they view all the pages, when they view and attempt them, or when they view and attempt and pass all the questions on a page. You can define a maximum number of attempts and a time limit as well. You can also change the advanced policies. This allows you to control the flow of a course. So for example, you have to make sure they pass previous assignments, or have passed previous lessons, or made attempts, or have special permission for, and made an attempt today at. You can do additional criterion or alternative criterion as well, and change it to be has or has not. So there is a lot of flexibility here. You can really choose the flow from one point of a course to the next point of a course. And it can be different for each student as well. Now, in terms of scheduling and visibility, you can choose the master visible. If this is checked, then they will see it under certain conditions. If it's unchecked, they'll never see it no matter what they passed previously or date ranges or anything. So if you want it to be visible at all, make sure this is checked. You can define a start date and end date with a calendar here for date and time. You can also limit the visibility by dates. So if you do have a start date and end date, if this is checked off, they won't see it until they fall into that particular date range. Limit visibility by advanced policies. So if you have defined advanced policies above here in the top left, then again, they won't see the actual lesson until they meet those policies. You can also restrict feedback until a certain date, again with the calendar and time here. As well, you can schedule force grading on a certain date. So sometimes students might not complete something or they might not submit it properly. If you put a date here, then anything that's active will be force graded automatically. Now, feedback that you want to show during a lesson. You can show hints for questions or show them at one at a time. You can show their current grade. So as they go from page to page in a lesson, their grade is updated. Allowing them to resubmit is always checked by default. This allows them to go back and try questions again. And how did I do is checked by default for a lesson. This will allow students to see if they got something right or wrong. Now you of course can customize whether they see correct answers or not, and whether they see question and feedback or not on a given page. Now what feedback do they receive after? Will they see a final grade? Will they be shown correct answers and question feedback? And again, that's conditional based off these 4 choices here. You can also have an email report sent to a particular email address every time a student completes this lesson. You can also customize text to show at the head of each page, or even customize the text to show on the results page. And lastly, you can customize IP address and hostname restrictions. So basically, whatever IP addresses you have here will only be allowed to access this lesson. You can use wildcards as well for helping you maintain a large list. And if your system admin has also done so, they can set up pools for you ahead of time, and all you do is select with checkboxes. But that's how you customize and edit the properties of a lesson.